Horror movies by design are meant to shock and disturb, but what happens when the horror genre goes too far and begins to bleed into real life? Sensitive topics such as sexual assault, torture, animal abuse and necrophilia will be discussed in this list, so please proceed with caution if any of these topics affect you. I'm Tilly from What Culture Horror, and these are 7 horror movies investigated by the police. Number 7. Lizard in Woman's Skin. From the mind of Italian director Lucio Fulci comes this giallo film, one that almost cost him his career as a filmmaker. In one scene, protagonist Carol Hammond, played by Florinda Balkan, is hiding from a mad hippie, yeah, it's a weird one, whilst waiting trial for a murder she may or may not have committed. Entering a room within the sanatorium, she witnesses horrific and cruel experiments being done on 4 innocent dogs. The scene was so shocking and worried so many viewers, Fulci was threatened with a 2-year prison sentence. Special effects master Carlo Rambaldi, who was the mind behind E.T. and worked on the Xenomorph, as well as working on Suspiria and King Kong, had to testify in court. He produced the props used in the scene to the court, proving they were fake and also proving Fulci's innocence. Fulci would then go on to work on over 20 films, including collaborations with the equally legendary Italian filmmaker Dario Argento before his passing in 1996. Number 6. Hostel Part 2. Whilst Eli Roth's first Hostel movie ruffled feathers, disgusted viewers and damaged the reputation of Slovakia, it got away lightly compared to the response to the second film in the series. The problems began with the film's marketing campaign. Infamously, one of the posters for Hostel 2 was a close-up shot of a huge hunk of meat. Many assumed it was human meat, considering the context of the film. The distributors of the film, Lionsgate, had to actually show proof of the butcher's receipt for the meat shown in the poster, which turned out to be boar meat. Even after this initial hurdle, the second circulated poster was also banned. In October of the same year that the film was released, the UK Parliament used the film as an example to outlaw extreme pornography. Stills from the film were shown, and it was agreed that those stills were in fact in line with what the bill proposed to ban, particularly in its relation to violence against women. Number 5. Snuff. Not the Slipknot song, which still makes me weep. Snuff films are, for those who are lucky enough not to know this, films that supposedly show real-life murder. Obviously, naming your movie Snuff is going to arouse suspicion from the get-go. The 1976 movie was indeed fake, and despite marketing efforts to convince audiences otherwise, everyone was assured it wasn't real. However, there were the vocal few that insisted real murders took place on screen, and so the New York District Attorney was brought in to investigate. The attorney, Robert N. Morgenthau, found nothing incriminating within the film, but that isn't to say he liked it. Morgenthau found the film's brutal misogyny deeply disturbing, even going so far as to say it might inspire violent acts against women. Number 4. A Serbian film. We're getting into really messed up movies now, so if you wish to stop watching, that is absolutely okay. A Serbian film, for better or worse, needs no introduction. It's a vile, nasty film that supposedly has a political allegory. Not quite sure how, considering the content of the infamous picture, but hey, who are we mere mortals to understand such high art? Surprising to nobody, the film's controversy put it in hot water around the world. In Spain, director of a Spanish film festival, Angel Sala, was charged with showing child pornography after the film was shown in 2011. After a complaint was submitted by a Roman Catholic organisation and a subsequent investigation, these charges were dropped. In Brazil, the Democratic Party of the country seized the copy of the film that was shown at a film festival, claiming it could incite paedophilia. In August of 2011, the federal court of the country banned it entirely, yet this was overturned in 2012. Number 3. Salò, or 120 Days of Sodom. Yes, Salò is a nasty film, with an anti-fascist message at the heart of it, but similarly to a Serbian film, it is not really remembered for the political stance it takes. Directed by Pier Paolo Pasolini, who was an artistic genius in many ways and a very troubled man in others, it is Pasolini himself around whom the investigation centred. Shortly after Salò premiered, Pasolini was brutally murdered in 1975. The official story was that he was killed by a young man whom he had asked sexual favours from. Yet, as time went by, more details began to crop up that suggested there was more to the story. The different strands are wide-ranging as they are mysterious, ranging from a revenge murder by the mafia to Pasolini showing hidden details about fascist Italy and Salò and needing to be silenced. It is rather interesting and important to point out that Salò was the last film that Pasolini made, and it may have something to do with his murder. Number 2. Guinea Pig 2, Flower of Flesh and Blood. This entry, both the film it discusses and the horrific events that followed, is genuinely difficult to speak about and may be hard for some to watch. The second instalment in the guinea pig saga, the film simply shows a man dressed up as a samurai dismembering and torturing an innocent woman. Quite frankly, it's horrid. So much so that when actor Charlie Sheen saw the film, he reported it to the FBI as he was convinced it was a real-life snuff film. An investigation was launched, but thankfully it was revealed to all be false after a making-of documentary was released. Tragically, however, the real-life killer Tsutomu Miyazaki, known as the Otaku Murderer, imitated the act scene in Guinea Pig 2 when committing his evil crimes against 4 girls. Or the police assumed he did, although upon further investigation it turned out to be Guinea Pig 4. Whether or not the film can be blamed for the murder of 4 innocent girls, all of whom were under 10 years old, is hard to say. However, it might be for the best if the film series is forgotten and left behind altogether. Number 1. Necromantic 2. Another infamous and horrible film series, the first Necromantic film is renowned for its graphic depiction of necrophilia, and the sequel does exactly the same. It's deeply unpleasant, sure, but it's pretty harmless, especially in comparison to some of the other films we've seen on this list. However, in 1991, Munich police confiscated the film and it was charged with the glorification of violence, which, considering is the year that violent films such as Silence of the Lambs was also released, is a tad odd. Not only that, but the Workshop Cinema in Munich, where the film was showing, was searched by the police. This was the 4th of these searches to take place in the cinema since the 1970s, with various complaints of violence and pornography peppering the history of the location. It seems that Necromantic 2 was caught up in a wider battle and all charges against it were dropped. And that's our list. Know of any that we missed? Let us know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe and swing on by our channel again if you want to catch more horror movie content. I've been Tilly and this has been What Culture. If any of the issues in the video have affected you, please reach out to friends, family and loved ones. There are so many people who care about you and want you to be okay. Furthermore, there's no pressure to watch these films as there is a lot of heavy subject matter in there, so please put your own mental well-being first. I'm sending you oodles of love, and until next time, bye-bye.
Next up, we are straight back to Shadow Picard for another scene in which it's incredibly important to me that nothing bad ever happens to Lara's little character.
YouTube. The unexpected frontier. These are the videos of whatculture.com. Its continuing mission to list strange new facts, seek out news and offbeat discoveries, to boldly go where no What Culture channel has gone before.
Hey, how would you guys like to start a Star Trek channel?
Hell yeah!
No, sorry, how's he got a uniform? I've been asking for one for months now. And
Providing money, I'll be sipping jippers on the beach somewhere.
Hell yeah!
Is he even called?
Hell yeah!
If I had any money, I'd be
Literally
sipping jippers on the beach
months I've been
somewhere.
asking for one.
Hell yeah!
If I had any money, I'd be sipping jippers on the beach somewhere.
Hell
If I
yeah!
had any money, I'd be sipping jippers on the beach somewhere.
Hell yeah!
If I had any money, I'd be sipping jippers on the beach somewhere.
Hell yeah!
If I had any money, I'd be sipping...
Hi, I'm Marcus Bronzy, new presenter for Trek Culture, What Culture's new home for all things Star Trek related. Now, we've already got a bunch of great content like Adam Cleary's ups and downs for every new episode of Picard, and we'll of course have all of the lists and rankings that you know and love us for. Fancy yourself a Trekkie and want to contribute? Well, What Culture is hiring video editors and writers, so if you want to get involved, fire over a CV and cover letter to trekculture@whatculture.com. And while you're at it, don't forget to slap subscribe and give us a follow on Twitter. It would be a great dishonor if you didn't. I've been Captain Marcus Bronzy. Until next time, Kapla!